This week at Dreamworld, a potential next step towards a massive future expansion. Work continues at rapid speed on the new King Claw, more exciting quality of life changes to Rivertown, a potential change to Jungle Rush, and Dreamworld teases a big announcement. Hello everyone, welcome back to the YumYum Report, bringing you bite-sized updates from Australian theme parks, as well as occasional updates from theme parks around the world. Before we start, I'd like to give a quick thanks to Team YumYum for supporting my content. Thank you so much. This week, new information released about Dreamworld's proposed land development plan, which includes a massive shopping precinct, as well as space for hotels and more future additions. This has been in the works for a while and could potentially turn the area surrounding Dreamworld into a much more significant space in Coomera by developing the land surrounding the park where they would build a sort of town centre, which would have shops, restaurants and other outlets. There's also mention of multiple hotels. It all sounds really exciting and would be awesome to see it come to fruition. I've often thought that Dreamworld could really use a hotel for a long time. Many people disagree with me, saying that there isn't enough to do at the park to warrant one, but I think there's plenty to do, especially with the rate that Dreamworld is progressing with all the additions lately, such as the recent Rivertown precinct, which is a world-class addition and worthy of a visit in its own right. Dreamworld has a lot to do for all kinds of people, whether it's rides, coasters, entertainment, food, animals, and also the water park next door. I think that if there was a hotel here, with a few additional offerings such as restaurants and other activities, it could turn Dreamworld into a much more significant destination, and would be really appealing for international travelers and interstate travelers, such as families and theme park enthusiasts. It's worked pretty well for SeaWorld, and I think it could do the same, if not better, for Dreamworld, especially with the addition of the shopping and dining precinct. Like I said, this proposed development has been in the works for a while now, but it's sort of reached an impasse with the local council, who are at an even 50-50 split and are struggling to find an agreement. From what I understand, the news on this is that they're wanting to move it from the local council, who make the decision, to more of a state or a government decision, which should streamline the process and hopefully move the development along. If it does happen, it's really important that they get it underway soon, especially with the Olympics coming up in Brisbane in 2032, where there'll be a huge influx of international tourists. There's also somewhat of an arms race on the northern end of the Gold Coast, with Movie World's potential hotel development as well, and in my opinion, whoever gets there first will reap the benefits. I think it's a really important foothold in the future of the theme park and entertainment industry in Australia, and whoever builds something first will have a significant upper hand. I can definitely see it developing even further into the future with potential links to public transport, such as trains and trams, and as Australia becomes even more of a worldwide tourist destination for theme parks, there will be more of a demand for travel options to get to the parks, just like overseas when you visit a Disney or Universal park. Like I said, I would love to see a hotel addition to the park, especially if it's themed in some way. I'd love to see either some kind of elegant, classic, colonial style building, or maybe even a lodge style accommodation option, linked into the back end of the park where the animals are, which would act as a second entrance where hotel guests could enter and experience some exclusive offers. What do you think? Would you like to see this upgrade to Dreamworld? Let me know in the comments, and if you're enjoying this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It helps a lot. On our visit to Dreamworld this week, we noticed lots more parts arriving for King Claw, which is set to open in late 2025. The main thing that caught my eye this week was this large triangular object covered by packaging in the car park. I wonder what it could be. It looked to me like the axis where the arm of the ride will swing from. It also reminded me of something closer to home. Inside, the construction has progressed a lot since our visit last week, with part of what I believe to be the operator's booth being constructed. It also looks like the exit or entrance ramp is finished. I'm a big fan of how the ride is going to be slightly elevated, which will make it have even more of a presence in the park. We also spotted Dreamworld's latest attraction, the flying forklift. In Rivertown, we immediately noticed a very exciting addition, shade. I love this so much, especially as someone who hates being out in the sun and getting burnt. The heat here on the Gold Coast can be pretty brutal, especially in the warmer months, and it's important to stay protected from the UVs with sunscreen. However, it gets extremely humid as well, which often makes the sunscreen sweat into your eyes. Sometimes you just want to sit or stand under some shade. So this is an excellent addition, and I'm consistently blown away by the attention Dreamworld places on hospitality and the guest experience. The same can't be said for all the parks here on the Gold Coast, unfortunately, and I have to make the comparison to the new Wizard of Oz precinct, which opened at the same time as Rivertown, and seemed like the obvious big swinging, big budget candidate for a world-class precinct. But the Wizard of Oz precinct doesn't even have seating or shade yet. In a recent interview on Dane's Theme Park Life, the podcast, Dreamworld CEO Greg Yong mentioned that his goal is to make Dreamworld have the best hospitality in Australia. This is a fantastic goal, and the team at Dreamworld is doing an incredible job at achieving it. Every time I visit, there seems to be some new change, which often improves the overall park experience. Not to mention the excellent service from the staff, who are very friendly and welcoming. I'm so happy to see these changes being made. I think Rivertown is almost perfect for what it is. The plants are growing in really nicely around the area, which might possibly add some more shades as well. Some minor changes I would love to see added to the area in terms of a guest experience perspective would be the addition of water fountains, as well as recycling bins. I also think they need to make it more obvious where the bathrooms are, because it can be tricky to find them, especially for a guest visiting for the first time. If you want to keep up to date with all the latest theme park news, make sure to follow me on Instagram and YouTube community, where I'll post all kinds of updates before I post my YumYum Report videos each week. I'm very active on these platforms, so make sure to check them out. Staying on the topic of Rivertown, I've noticed this past week that on Dreamworld's social media pages, there's been a presence of Jane Tasman, who is one of the original characters that is part of the Rivertown story. And it's really cool to see these characters integrated into the park's story like this. Jane has appeared in a couple of posts about Jane's Rivertown restaurant, and I think this is really awesome. When I visited the press event for the Rivertown opening, Jane and Murray's characters came out and gave a little speech, and I was really impressed by the characters and how they were sort of fleshed out, and I wanted to see more of a presence of them in Rivertown. They do appear in the pre-shows for Mississippi Motors and Jungle Rush, as well as in the backstory and lore on the Rivertown notice board. And of course, Jane's Rivertown restaurant is named after Jane, but up until now we haven't really seen them too much, and I'm really glad to see them utilizing their characters a bit more. I wonder if they'll ever appear in meet and greets, maybe with Kenny and Belinda, or perhaps if they'll have some kind of show in the future. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Who's calling? Jungle Rush. Hello? Understood, I'm on the way. We had our usual weekly ride on Jungle Rush, which is aging very well. Still buttery smooth and a very pleasant experience from start to finish. A highlight for me is walking through the entrance and feeling like I'm starting out on some grand adventure as I navigate my way through the queue with its impressive immersive theming. I did actually spot something which I haven't noticed before, which could be a new addition, or I could be gaslighting myself. It looked to me like they were beginning to paint some of the black walls inside the building. I noticed going backwards up the lift hill into the inclined turntable room that part of the walls seemed to have more of a jungly wall texture with stones and rocks and moss. It looked like it was supposed to extend along all the black walls, but maybe this is something they were unable to finish due to time constraints. I wonder if we'll see this paint making its way through the entire indoor section, which at this stage is a little bare in some areas and has some room for improvement. It doesn't detract from the ride experience, but it could elevate what at this stage I would rate an 8 out of 10 experience to a 10 out of 10 experience, especially with some more effects such as fog, mist, or water to immerse the riders even more. Has anyone else noticed this paint job in the tunnels? Let me know in the comments, and what changes would you like to see to Jungle Rush? Last but not least, Dreamworld has been teasing some kind of big announcement on their social media pages. Dreamworld's team members were seen from the top of the giant drop screaming out, and over the week people were speculating what this big announcement would be, and it turned out it was just a advertisement for a special on the annual pass for locals, which you can get for $99, and it's a very good deal if you're a local here on the Gold Coast. Dreamworld is really knocking it out of the park, and it's definitely my go-to theme park here in Australia. I think they're at the top of their game and they've set the bar really high. So if you are a local and you don't have an annual pass yet, I seriously recommend getting one, because you also get access to Sky Point and Whitewater World as well. And I'm not sponsored, I just think Dreamworld is doing a fantastic job and it's a good deal, so check it out. After this announcement, they also teased that there is actually in fact another big announcement on the way, which they say will make everyone need to be annual pass holders. And I wonder what this announcement could be. There has been lots of speculation. Some people think that they might be bringing some kind of tower climb to the giant drop, which would be really cool. Other people think that Big Brother might be returning to Dreamworld, and throughout these little teasers, Dreamworld's used a roller coaster emoji, which I don't want to get my hopes up too high, but to me that kind of insinuates some kind of new ride, and the only new ride that is on the way that we are aware of is King Claw. So it seems weird that they would be teasing some kind of announcement to something that people are already aware of, so I'm hoping that it is in fact a new ride. A new roller coaster would be a great addition. I wonder what kind of coaster would be a good addition to Dreamworld's ride portfolio. I think there's a lot of options. They've already sort of tackled that family demographic with Jungle Rush and a slightly more thrilling coaster with Steel Taipan. I would love to see something that focuses on airtime myself. If Dreamworld was to announce some kind of new roller coaster, what would you want to see added to the park? What do you think would complete their lineup and be a huge draw card? Let me know in the comments. That brings me to the end of this episode of the YumYum Report from Dreamworld. Really interesting week with quite a lot going on. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like, a friendly comment, or subscribe for more. And before we finish, I'd like to wrap things up by giving a very special thank you to Team YumYum for supporting my content. A very special thank you to Koala75, Lee Donald, SWStevie1, Randall, Maloney's Coasters, Carrie Jekin, Kai on the Internet, Audrey Allen, Oogie Boogie, Theme Park Ogre, Jordan Casey, Germ, Medic Brick, Movies Like Everyone, and Senpai's JP Blue Dog. Thank you so much everyone for your very kind and generous support. It really means a lot to me that you enjoy my videos enough to support the channel in this way. And for anyone who would like to become a channel member, you're more than welcome to do so. This will give you access to new videos early. You'll also get a special shout out and thanks at the end of my videos, as well as a YumYum sticker next to your username, some emojis to use in the comments, and last but not least, you'll also get a special custom hand-drawn illustration by me to suit your very needs and requirements. For any members of Team YumYum who haven't told me what you would like your drawing to be yet, let me know in the comments or message me on Instagram. And for anyone who isn't in a position to support the channel in this way by becoming a Team YumYum member, you also can leave your support by liking, leaving a friendly comment, or subscribing for more. Thank you so much once again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.